Hello, everyone. Thanks a lot for joining. We are going to wait about 30 seconds because we got a lot of signups for this exciting webinar coming up here. And just a few more seconds, checking how many people are joining. All right. Okay, now it's 1 minute past. Great to see you all. Thanks for joining another Hostaway webinar. This time we got a special guest here. We got Gregor from Homes and Villas by Marriott International. Our latest OTA integration is Homes and Villas by Marriott International that has received a lot of publicity, and in the current climate of the travel industry, they are doing extremely well. So the timing is perfect. Before we start, let's do a quick round of introductions. My name is Marcus. I'm usually known as Marcus from Hostaway. I'm the CEO of Hostaway, a PMS and Channel Manager that is growing very well and serving customers. We just got shortlisted as an award leader on Capterra, a review website. Yeah, I also wanted to mention before the introductions, if you have any questions, use the QA function here. In the chat, you can send messages that will be visible to everyone else. But if you want questions, please put them in the QA. We'll try to see if we can take in questions during the presentation. Otherwise, we'll do it after. And do keep in mind, if we don't answer your question, it might be because of legal reasons. But we will do our best to answer every question that we just can. And Carolyn Gilbert, thank you very much for joining. It's a pleasure to have you here. Now let's hand it over to Gregor, if you wouldn't mind giving a short introduction.
Sure, Marcus. Thank you very much. As mentioned, I'm Gregor Schweitzer. I'm working as connectivity provider and business development leader for Homes and Villas by Marriott International. And yeah, I'm in the company since 2019 with long experience in the market, almost 10 years working with different connectivity provider, home management companies, and distribution channels. So over to Maria.
Hello everyone. Thank you, Gregor. Thank you, Marcus. So my name is Maria. I'm the head of product here at Hostaway. I'm very happy to be here today and show you a little bit more about the integration.
All right, let's get started. Gregor, if just let us know when you want the next slide.
Oh, sure, Marcus. And first of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who is joining this webinar, where basically we're going to talk about who is Homes and Villas by Marriott International, what benefit we bring to the property manager, and how we can work with us. So if you don't mind to skip to the next slide. So, okay, basically Homes and Villas is an expertly created premium and luxury offering of professionally managed private homes around the world, backed by Marriott International. So we are the only platform that works with select property management companies and is part of Marriott's Bonvoy travel loyalty program. Basically, Marriott Bonvoy is the loyalty program from Marriott International that's allow their members to get access to more than 8,000 hotels around the world under 30 different brands, experiences, and since 2019, Homes and Villas by Marriott International. So keeping in mind who our guests are and what they expect from us, Homes and Villas by Marriott International only works with the best home management companies of the world in order to continue to provide exceptional services. So that being said, the results that we got are telling us that we are going in the right direction, because basically 90% of the reservation that we are getting Homes and Villas by Marriott International are coming from our members. And another super interesting fact is that 30% of our bookings are made by points. So at this point, I'm going to provide you a deeper view about Marriott Bonvoy base. So if you don't mind, Maria, to skip to the next slide. Okay, great. So, sorry. Basically, Marriott Bonvoy is a high-quality global customer base. We have 160 more million loyalty members. And this is super interesting because the average age of the members is between 35 and 54 years old. They are parents, they are highly educated, homeowners, married, and with a high yearly income. So basically what I'm telling here is that our members are professional, families, frequent travelers that they are willing to spend their money in holidays to get premium and luxury experience. So, and to add, I wanted to add to this point that actually, though these guests are only traveling with Marriott. So basically, in conclusion, Marriott Bonvoy loyalty program grant quality guests that would you love to host.
I can maybe add here as well that the Marriott Bonvoy program is really a popular program. It's similar to any Air Miles or the Amex points programs, but you may check out your bank. Your local bank might offer a Bonvoy card, or your local airline together with a credit card company might offer a Bonvoy card. And I'm just mentioning that because in the past 2 years, the usage of these loyalty points have dramatically changed. So previously, the typical story was that someone was a business traveler, they went to different cities, and then once a year they took a family holiday, and they used those points that they saved up to take their family on a holiday. They bought plane tickets, they bought cruise tickets, they booked hotel rooms. Now, because the way people travel, you don't fly somewhere to sit in a hotel room in a big city. Instead, you might drive somewhere to sit in a villa on the beach. That has changed, but the collection and usage of points has also changed. Anyone who's invested in Visa, MasterCard, or Amex on the stock market, you probably remember spring 2020. What happened was that they had a huge amount of points, and they were afraid that consumption was going to drop. For example, restaurants getting frequented less. But what actually happened is that these points inflated. What that meant that all the credit cards, because the spending continued, as you know, there's a shortage of stuff to buy in the world right now because people are spending, and there's also inflation because people are spending. As a result of that, there are a lot of points available, and many card programs, even if they're not part of Marriott Bonvoy, they allow transfers to Marriott Bonvoy, which is generally seen as one of the best programs to have points in, because those can also be transferred onto airlines from there. And this is why I believe that you have such great numbers, 30% booking with points. I just wanted to mention this to the property managers, in case you're not familiar with the world of credit cards and loyalty programs, because this really gives you access to an entirely new demographic of consumers and guests.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely correct, Marcus. So well done in highlighting it, because it is the reason why we have so a loyal base, customer base on our side. So because of this, I would like to go to the next slide to talk about the unique benefits about the different stakeholders here, because here there is benefit for the guest, because with Homes and Villas by Marriott International, they are continuing in receiving exceptional stays at industry leading properties. From Marriott International, we are continuing to offer a unique location for members to redeem valuable points, as you mentioned, Marcus. And then property managers, basically, they are going to be associated with us. We are helping them if they want increasing their portfolio, and of course, we are able to provide a new revenue generation. So, if we want to break down the benefits for the property managers, basically what we can see here is like brand association with Marriott International, reach millions of Marriott Bonvoy loyalty members that they're used to travel with Marriott. then marketing opportunities for key homes and destination, access to a new currency and incremental revenue stream, about the points that Marcus mentioned earlier, operational expertise, resource and support, and then, of course, support with the homeowner acquisition. So at this point, I would like to explain how we drive demand on our platform. So if we jump on the next slide, Maria. So basically, what we can see here, we can see our three main tools, right? Marriott.com, it's our main website where our members are going there and they're making their research. So when they're searching a destination, usually it used to come out just the hotels, but from now on it comes out also a banner that it's showing to the members that there is chance to book in homes and villas. What is happening when the guest is going to click on the banner? It will be redirected directly to a dedicated platform, Homes and Villas by Marriott International, where the guest can have the right experience in terms of book an accommodation. So we have done it because we thought it was super important divided the two different experience when you are booking a hotel or when you're booking homes and villas. The second one are the targeted communications to an audience of more than 12 million each month. So basically, what we are really good in is to segmenting the audience based on the great amount of data that we own. Basically, we are able to segment based on destination, occupancy, seasonality, and demand, and in that way, we are able to drive the right reservation to your properties. The third part is about partnership with top-tier brands. Basically, as you know, and Marcus mentioned it before about American Express or Visa in this case, we are the largest hospitality company in the world. And because of this, we have several different great partnership with great partners. And in the case of the American Express and Visa, we are able to run promotion, leverage it by points.
Yeah, so I could maybe take in a question here from Aid. He had a good question that it's appropriate to answer here. He asked, are you suggesting the property managers will benefit from guests booking with points? That's exactly what we're saying. Now, that being said, property managers have benefited before, but the most typical example is that a consumer is able to book reward plane tickets. And as a result of that, the plane tickets are free or cheap, so they have a higher budget and they're able to book a more higher end property for their travel. But this is the first program that I've seen where guests in such huge numbers are able to book directly with points. Let's say you have air miles with your favorite airline. You can't go on an OTA and make a booking with that. You have to pay with real cash, which is a downside because cash has alternative use. But if you have miles in a program like Bonvoy, you can choose, or points in Bonvoy, you can choose what to do with that. And right now, vacation rentals are really attractive, and that's why I think we're seeing so great numbers here with Marriott.
Yeah, this is correct. And actually, our members own millions of points, and they're really looking forward to spend these. And actually, it is great because we have so a loyal base that our guests actually are always asked about points. They're really craving about their status. So basically, for us, offering a new leisure destination like the vacation rental business, it's amazing because in that way we can continue to engage our customer. And okay, at this point I would like to move to the following slide. I'm talking about some case studies that I thought it could be interesting to talk about. Basically, in this case, in this first case, we are talking about the fast result for the right fit. Basically, we were in contact end of last year with an HMC based in a urban city in Europe. And his inventory, it was built with 2-3 bedrooms in the city, where basically the demand was for 1-bedroom rentals. So the HMC chose to list with HVMI to reach our unique customer base of well-traveled professionals, because they were looking to book larger home rentals for leisure breaks and with family and friends. So basically what we mentioned before, Marcus, here our guests are earn at this point because of business travels. They have a lot of these points, but they really would like to spend on our platforms. So now these HMC were able to meet this demand. And basically the outcome was great, because we were able to bring 75 units, premium units, live on our platform in less than 1 month. We were able to generate more than $80,000 in revenue in less than 2 months. But also another great point is about the average length of stay, because we passed it from a 4.3 from the other channels to 4.4 nights. And that's great, because you know better than me that longer stays are less cost, right? And then I wanted to show you also the next case, Maria, please, about reaching a new customer segment. So basically, it's not just only about a matter of money. Yes, money is important, but sometimes we want also to start to look at a different segment of the business, right? So in this case, we were talking with an HMC in an island villa, where basically he got a huge reservation from Europe's travelers, but he wanted to have to start to diversify his revenue and starting to attract USA-based customer. So because of our large American Marriott Bonvoy member base, the HMC were able, as a result, to start reaching a new audience and increasing the share of the guests that comes from US. So if we can go to the next slide, we can talk about, before to talk about the process, I would like to talk a little bit about the Homes and Villas by Marriott International standards. Basically, here we have the 3 main criteria that we are looking for in our partners. Inventory, we are looking for exclusively owned and managed properties, full calendar control, premium or luxury units, and it's unbookable. From an operation standpoint, we are looking for 24/7 guest support. That doesn't mean concierge, right? It just, we need some support if the guests lose the keys or if they need some help. Basically, they can't stay outside the house. Then professional cleaning, premium amenities, appliances and towels or linens. And then, of course, from a technological standpoint, being integrated with a Hostaway is absolutely a plus. So apart from this standard, we are promoting all our properties, all stays included list. However, is the previous slide, sorry, Maria, because here we are talking about the all stays included list, where basically we are aiming we are promoting all these amenities on our listings. However, we understand that some of these amenities are not available in the markets, and because of these, we are able to make exception during the process. And at this point, I would pass to the process slide. Sorry. So about the process slide, the process basically it's built in 3 phases. The first phase is property evaluation and due diligence, where basically we want to be sure about the right product and the right home management company. The phase 2, we are working about onboarding, so operation, guest experience, and marketing, and of course the technological side. And the phase 3, finally, we countersign the contract. We make a reservation test, and we go live and finally get bookings. So this is how works our process, and I think Maria now is the right moment to jump in and explain how work the integration between Hostaway and Homes and Villas by Marriott International.
Before we go there, Greg, there's 3 people have asked here. Now that we mentioned points, they asked, okay, well, how do they get paid, and what are the tax implications? Perhaps you could address that that first, because I think you have the answer.
Yeah, so absolutely. Thank you for raising it, Marcus. So the thing here, we are going to pay money. No points are expected to get to provide to the HMCs. So we are getting paid. Then there is a conversation on our end, and we will pay, and we will remit the payment based on the rates that you choose. So then, in terms of taxes, then it's on you to basically pay what expected.
Thank you. Maria, please give us a demonstration.
Please. Let me unmute first. All right, so, and actually it needs a few seconds to set the stage, but never mind. So thank you, Gregor, and thank you, Marcus, and hello, everyone. So just to pinpoint the parts of the integration with Marriott. Our integration with Marriott will allow you to receive, view, and edit Marriott reservations, create listings on the Homes and Villas site, and manage listing content from Hostaway, synchronize prices and availability, and communicate with your guests through our unified inbox. So once the connection is made, as explained by Gregor, and it has been tested, and you've been given the green light to advertise your properties on Marriott, you will start seeing the reservation coming through our through Hostaway as they happen. So every time there is a new reservation, you will be notifying your PC or on your mobile app, actually our mobile app, and you will be able to manage them from our unified calendar. The calendar will give you an overview of all your properties and reservations on the multi-calendar view, but you can also have a closer look at one particular property, and through the calendar you can access the reservations and manage the prices and availability. And actually, I just wanted to show you how it looks. So this is the multi-calendar view. So here you have the listings, all the listings and the reservations. You can click on our reservation, you can go to the reservation details, you can select a date and a period of time and change prices and availability, etc. So regarding actually syncing prices and availability, once the connection is done, we will synchronize your calendars from the different channels with Marriott's in real time. So you can rest assured that you will not receive any double bookings, and guests will be able to see the most up-to-date prices and availability when booking from the Marriott site. Our calendar synchronization feature also supports the use of very well-known party or third-party revenue management tools. But if you don't have any of those on your portfolio, you can use the calendar as I showed you just now to set your price and availability for Marriott as well. So once a reservation reaches our system, we open the lines of communication with the guest. And this happens here on our unified inbox. Through the unified inbox, you are able to communicate with the guest. We receive the email address of the guest, the real email address of the guest, a phone number, and with that you can continue the communication via email, SMS, or WhatsApp, all from here, all from Hostaway. So you will not need to leave Hostaway to manage your conversation with the guest. What else can I tell you here? There are a few things that you can do. You can archive messages already did or conversations that are already in the past. You can assign conversation to other staff members. You can leave private notes for the threads to also to share between your staff, etc. But of course, you will not have to manually message every single guest that's booked through Marriott. We have a system automations for that, and our system automations will save you time in replying to different guests at different times. It will also allow you to set templates for the messages, so you can tailor the communication with the guests depending on the status of the reservation. So for instance, just to give you a small example here, this is an example of a template, for instance, for a thank you message or after a reservation. You can create a template, a message template with variables that will take information from the reservation and from other parts of the system. We are able to identify the language of the reservation, so you can create templates on the language of the guest, and therefore this will be the message. If it's French, you will be sent in French to the guest. You can decide the trigger, so the trigger would be the event of the reservation. In this case, it could be, I'm sure you see in the drop down, sometimes it's not visible on Chrome, but anyway, the trigger could be a reservation, guest arrival, guest departure, etc. And then you can schedule as well, minutes, hours, days, after, before, at the trigger event. On top of that, you can add conditions. So you can have more conditions and to further tailor the messaging. It could be number of nights, number of guests, listings available, advance time, reservation custom fields. I'm not going to explain all, but for instance, listing is available is quite popular between our customers because it allows you to upsell 3 days between reservations. So for instance, if you have one reservation and maybe 3 days in between to the next one, you can decide whether to send a message to the previous guest to say, send an offer, for instance, to stay for a longer period of time. Also in the system, you can create custom fields basically. So, and these custom fields can be fields manually or through our dynamically with information. For instance, an example of a custom field would be a door code. So you would send a message, for instance, if a door code has X value, something like that. You could say, yeah, you can select then to which channels the template applies. It can apply to Marriott or it can apply to different channels at the same time. What we see from our customers is that they have templates for different channels because also the audience is different. And obviously, Marriott's target audience is very, very, very specific. So I'm sure you will have very specific messaging for them as well. What else can I tell you? So, of course, reservations in Marriott's, as we just spoke, are paid at the point of sale. So you will not have to do anything else on Hostaway to collect payments, but we will give you a breakdown of the cost of the reservation. And we will add this information to our financial reporting tool. So the financial reporting tool I'm showing you here will give you a overview of your most important KPIs, the most important business KPIs. But you can also use it to calculate your commissions and payouts for you and your clients, your owners, and generate owner statements, as well as to keep track of expenses. You can have an overview of your KPIs. You can go into this section here and have a redefined view of all the revenue per listing, per reservation, also have occupancy reports, etc. And then eventually you will be able to create owner statements. So as I mentioned earlier, so our integration with Homes and Villas will allow you to create listings in Homes and Villas and update the listing content. So you don't have to leave the Hostaway system to ensure that you have the most up-to-date content for your listing displayed on the Marriott site. As Gregor mentioned, there are some standards that these listings have to comply with. And during the process of creating the listing here in Hostaway to be exported to Homes and Villas, we will guide you through all those requirements to make sure that by the time that Marriott does the due diligence, your listing passes with flying colors. Content export today includes, among other things, I think the most important things, photos, descriptions, amenities, and cancellation policies that can export from the dashboard. So this ensures that your listing is updated with the latest information at all times. And that's all I had. So we're very happy to answer questions if there are any. And if not, I'll pass it back to Gregor and Marcus.
Thank you. It's a beautiful system you built, and it looks like a very smooth integration here with Marriott. For those of you who have put your questions in the chat, please add them also to the QA section. We got 24 questions open here right now. What do you say, Gregor? Should we move to questions, or did you have more slides?
I'm done with slides, so we can go straight to the Q&A.
Okay, I'm going to start here because there's two questions. Peter, he's using MyVR and he's very disappointed that MyVR isn't integrated with Marriott yet. And Anna, on the other hand, uses Cloudbeds. I'm not too familiar with Cloudbeds. I went to their website and it says a software for hotels. So to Peter and Anna, regarding your question, if we integrate with MyVR or Cloudbeds, no, we do not. But if you are managing vacation rentals, I would recommend you open up a browser window, you go to hostaway.com, and you click almost any button you see on the page and fill in your phone number and your email address, and I guarantee that you will get a great demo from our fantastic sales team that will solve a lot of the problems you have right now. Gregor, I noticed there were a couple of questions regarding the payments and the fees that Marriott charges. Are those some that you are able to answer here?
No, unfortunately, we are sharing this information after signing an NDA, but actually it is something absolutely in line with the market. But if you are interested in it, don't hesitate to let us know, and we will be more than happy to start a conversation separately.
Sounds good. Now, let's go from the top here. So I think Gabe asked the best question here that I've seen so far. Will Marriott give us hosts access to their signature Marriott scent? Gregor, how does that work? Can you share us some details? Is it like the Coke formula that's secret, or how can we get this done?
Not yet, but we will work for it. So we're working for it. But basically, I wanted to answer to Ade Ashaye, if I pronounce correctly, because she's asking about what are people typically traveling for. So basically, our audience usually are professionals, as mentioned before, professionals, families, and frequent travelers. Basically, they usually in our hotels we have a lot of professionals that are traveling, and because of this, then they would like to spend time with the family and their points. So most of our guests are people that really love high experience or high experience, premium experience, or even luxury experience. So this is our kind of guest that we are hosting usually.
All right. Maria, did you want to take any of the questions?
Yes, let me unmute. So I can see from 8 that is asking about instant booking. Yes, Marriott is mostly instant booking. The inquiry process is a little bit different from other channels. So the currently the guest has the possibility to ask a question through the Marriott website, but this question will go to the PN email. Unfortunately, at this point, although I'm sure it's in the roadmap, we don't have inquiry supported through the integration, but we do the reservation communication for sure. There was another question as well, Marcus, if you allow me. Yes, connect to other channel, all the OTAs. Yes, we Hostaway does connect to other OTAs as well.
All right, then let's take Aid's questions here. We mentioned before how travel has changed, and I think that's a good question there. What are people typically traveling for? And I just wanted to say this is exactly why we're here today. This is why Homes and Villas by Marriott exists. Of course, they didn't know they were betting on the right trend many years ago when they got started. But what we're seeing is a clear surge in demand for bigger rentals and especially luxury rentals. That's not necessarily on the higher end of the price scale. It can also be because of the location and number of guests. So, for example, something that is as a percentage of the whole market is more popular today is traveling with your family or with your friends. And as a result of that, if you have a big house that you're renting out and it's in a good location, let's say on the beach or with a mountain view, that is something that is seen as luxury, but it can be rented by, for example, multiple families who are traveling together. And that's one of these trends that that we're seeing. Also, another trend right now that is, I think the increase in fuel prices are going to accelerate this, but we've seen it over many years already. People like to travel nearby. So instead of getting on a plane and traveling around the world, which has been hard because of travel restrictions and other restrictions, people want to get in a car and they want to get to the beach, or they want to get to the golf course, they want to get to the vineyards, or to the cottage, the lakes, and just spend time there. So that's a bit on the travel overall, and that's, yeah, I think Marriott Homes and Villas, they select which properties go on the platform, but from what I'm seeing, I mean, if you go and try to make a booking, you'll see exactly these type of properties that are in high demand right now. And someone asked if that's for, is there a need for property managers in Florida, US? I can't answer on behalf of Marriott, but I can say that if you have properties in Florida, especially if they are properties that can accommodate a larger number of guests, or that have one of these amenities I mentioned, like a beach nearby, maybe a golf course nearby, then there is a need for not only property managers, but properties. There's a huge demand and there is not enough supply.
So at this point, I would like to answer a couple persons, Schiller and Mattia. Basically, no, we are not working in exclusivity with you, so you are able to continue working with the other partner that you are working with, and referred to the exclusive control of the calendar. Basically, we want to be sure that the property manager that are working with us, because yes, we are working only with professional property manager. Any owner is not able to distribute properties to us directly, but only through a property manager company. We are working with instantly booking reservation. So the management of the calendar, it is super important. So when we are referring about the exclusivity managed calendar, we are referring at the fact that we want you to have the calendar up to date all the time. And if you get a direct booking, an instant booking, you should be able to accept it. I hope I answered your question.
All right, Gregor, there's quite a lot of questions here that are quite specific to Marriott, so feel free to pick and choose the ones that you want. I'll answer a couple here. Dana is asking if this is something that I pay for aside from my Hostaway. I can tell you that if you're a Hostaway customer, there's no hidden fees. So if you want to start using Marriott, it's included in your monthly fee. So thank you for asking that, Dana. Then anonymous attendee asked us if we are integrated with PMS owner reservations. On behalf of Hostaway, I can say no, we are not. But I think you can go on hostaway.com and click contact us or book a demo or pricing and see if perhaps Hostaway would be something for you.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of questions, and I'm trying to read all of them understand with before to go through everyone. So I saw an interesting question from Richard. If I'm not wrong, I know who is this guy. But basically, in terms of percentage of bookings, basically we are providing 90% of the reservation come from our database. So basically, 90% of the guests come from the Bonvoy membership program. And I think this is going to answer you.
I can see, Gregor, that there's a lot of questions about getting started. Now, if someone wanted to get started and get their properties on Marriott, after all, that's what we're here, which steps would they take?
Okay, so first of all, what is going to happen? They can reach us directly through our website and submit the inquiry form, or we are going to follow up this webinar, sending you the link and the form, so you can directly submit it, and then we will follow up accordingly to the by the region. Basically, as the first step is reviewing the the inventory to understand if it fit in our standards, and then we will start from there.
All right, and then there's one good question here from Robert Martin. He's asking if HVMI is interested in condos. He has two listings in Maui, perhaps. And I see quite a few similar questions here. Is this eligible, or is this eligible? Is it available in all states, or is it only certain states? Perhaps you could expand a little bit on what type of properties are in general eligible.
So actually are eligible all kind of properties as apartments, flat, homes, villas, condos, basically everything that are meeting our requirements. So that's why what I'm suggesting all the time is just provide us your inventory, and then we will let you know if we want to work with you or not, because it's the best way. Basically, also in the market, we have to adapt about the offer of the market. I usually make an example about Barcelona and Madrid, because they are like great cities where there is a lot of offer in terms of vacation rental, but both cities are quite different in terms of offers. So what you can get in Madrid is not the same thing that you can get in Barcelona. So this is why I'm always suggesting, first of all, contact us. We are quite good in replying, because usually between 24 hours and 48 hours we are replying to the inquiries, and then we can start from there the discussion, because is the only and best way to approach the thing.
I see there's a few questions here regarding a connection with Track and also Guesty. I think you can approach, if you're not using Hostaway, you can you can reach out to your own technology provider. You could also, of course, ask Marriott, but the fact is that it's us at Hostaway. We had to build this connection, and we put all our energy and our love into it, because we truly believe, we're passionate in what we're working with. We truly believe in the future of vacation rentals, and no matter what technology you're using, if it's crucial for business, you should require that. Go out to your technology provider and say, I demand this. That's what you can do. If you do not feel like doing that, then please join us. It's super simple. Just go on hostaway.com, fill in your email address and your phone number. I promise we'll be in touch. Let's see, there's so many questions. It seems every time we answer a question, there's three new ones that come in. I can maybe answer one that has come up here. Someone is asking if we charge a commission to use Hostaway. No, we can work with different pricing models. The typical one is we charge a fixed monthly fee per property per month. Yeah, that's how we work with most of our property managers. Basically, we sell software and you pay for the software. Now, Marriott and other OTAs, they actually sell a transaction, or they are a marketplace. So they bring you guests and they work more on commissions. Let's see.
I've seen a few questions on how PMs get paid. Do you think it's possible to answer that a little bit? For you, Gregor?
Sorry, I'm not seeing the question. Can you read it, please?
Yeah, I think it was Aid and some other. Sorry, it's a few questions, and I'm browsing through all of them. But one of the themes seems to be how do they collect payment, basically?
Okay, yeah, this is quite easy because we are merchant of records. So basically, we collect the payments, and then we will remit accordingly the cancellation policy that you decide to have with us. About the cancellation policies, you can see directly also from our FAQ in our website. Well, at the moment we have 4, 14, 30, 60 days, and a super strict for 90 days. So we collect the payment and then we will remit at the moment of the cancellation policy window. So, and then as we are talking about payments, I saw that there was like a how are the Marriott points converted to money? So basically, this is something that it's depending on us. We are leveraging the conversion. So from your standpoint, actually, you don't see any changes. If you are market your property to $200, you are getting $200.
Yep, and on Hostaway you will be able to track that as well.
There's a technical question here. Is the integration same as any other channels? Can you start from the channel manager section? Maria, perhaps you can answer that.
So remember that Gregor explained the requirements and the standards. So first of all, when you create the listing in Hostaway, there's a guide that it tells you what are the minimum requirements that your listing has to comply with in order to be able to be live on Marriott. But so once that is done, it's automatic. It's sent to Marriott, and then Marriott validates the content of the listing. So once the validation is passed, and if there are no other issues, then if I remember correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, the integration is tested, and when it's tested, the PM gets the green light, and then the properties become live on the Marriott website. After that, you can export from Hostaway to Marriott. So you can update the content of the listings on the Marriott site from Hostaway as well.
So basically, what is happening from Homes and Villas by Marriott International, we are providing an HVMI HMC code, and with this code in Hostaway, you can connect both platforms. Once both platforms are connected, basically automatically you can choose the properties as Maria showed you before. You can choose the properties to provide to us, and then automatically all the content, all the availability, all the pricing are automatically passed to us. And then on our platform, you are able to customize some details from the descriptions to the titles and these kind of features.
All right, sounds good. Mattia here asked, what are the costs for starting to use Marriott?
Yeah, there is no cost. Actually, to starting working with Marriott, there is no cost. There is just the willingness to work with us, go through the process, having the right product, and going through the partnership process as mentioned. Then between Hostaway and Homes and Villas, there is any cost. So I think it's related to your plan with Hostaway. You will pay it, and with us, you will just get our negotiated contract. That's it, I would say. So easy. Mattia, I would join Hostaway, and then let's start the conversation with Homes and Villas to see where we land.
All right, now let's see here. There's a lot of very detailed questions. I also see a lot of questions that probably should be directed to our sales team. One thing I can say is that, and it's clear from the chat, clear from the questions as well. This is very diversified. If you're, let's say you're renting out beachside villas, if you're doing it in South Africa or in Georgia or in Malaga or in Florida, everything is different from the way your guests book, from the way they behave, the way payments work, the way taxes work, and even the way the villas themselves work. So there's a lot of quite specific questions here. And let's see here. There's one good question here from Richard, who's no Votten. He's asking, and I actually don't have the answer here. I'm not sure if Gregor can answer specifically this question, but perhaps you can give an overview if you have one. Richard is asking, what percentage of bookings from Bonvoy members are in European properties versus USA, especially with COVID and a closed travel? If you're able to give your view, Gregor, I'll be more than happy to share my view as well.
Okay, so actually this question, I can't share the exact data, but what I can tell you is that actually the business case that I showed you at the beginning, the urban HMC is getting reservation from USA based customer. So of course, last year it wasn't the best year to start with the US traveler because everything was closed. But US traveler were booking for 2022 or even 2023. And what we are seeing is there is a lot of demand in order to travel to Europe, and even with this not ideal situation that is happening in the east of Europe, is still continuing. We are still continuing facing great demand. So I'm not able to provide exact data, I'm sorry, but what I can tell you is that, yeah, there is a great demand and more willingness to travel to Europe from USA Bonvoy members.
Yeah, I can also share a bit on our experience. First of all, EU has capped credit card fees. So when you pay by a credit card in a store, they're not allowed to charge as much, which of course means that the amount of points consumers in EU have on average is lower than what they have in North America. So that is one contributing factor to why the demand from especially US could be higher. What we've seen is that there is a bit of a slowdown in the demand from North America to Europe, but there's also a slowdown in demand from Europe to North America, and it's so what we use at Hostaway when we look at this type of data is we don't only look at our own bookings, we also look at hotel bookings, we look at vacation rentals, but also plane bookings. And it was very interesting last fall when the US opened up to travelers from Europe. The planes got fully booked, but that slowed down very quickly because all the places to stay, they were also fully booked. So people who wanted to come visit their family on holiday and rent a nice house, they could get a plane ticket, but they couldn't rent a house because all the houses were rented out. and I think that's something that means that tourism will do better in Europe, but more from European consumers. And on the other hand, what it means over on this side of the Atlantic is that the demand will continue to be high, but it will be more from domestic or at least North American travelers. For example, in both Canada and Mexico right now, we're seeing a big spike in American travelers. And we're not seeing that spike in Europe in the same way. All right, I think that's all of the questions that we can answer. There's, I can say there's about 20 questions here on whether Marriott is, or whether your property is in Australia, or whether your property is in Spain, or whether your 6 cottages around the Great Lakes would be good for Marriott. But I suggest you go on Marriott and let them know you exist, and talk there. There's also a lot of questions about using Hostaway. For that, well, each property manager is unique. We want to have a one-on-one discussion with you. Go on hostaway.com to get started and talking to us. Gregor, Maria, any last questions? Any last words? We're running low on time here soon.
No, I answered a few already on the integration, so yep. I think from me that.
Yeah, neither for me. I think I answered most of the question. The most detailed as Marcus mentioned, better if you chase us. Again, we are going to follow up this webinar, sending you the right link at the inquiry form, and then of course you are free to go to our website, look at the right page, and submit it. Don't be shy. we as mentioned, we usually are quite fast in answering, and this is the best way.
And I know Gregor can't say too much, give out too much detail, but I can, since I'm not part of Marriott, I can say this much. They are carefully selecting each property and inspecting them to make sure that they meet up to their standards. Now, if you just think about the logistics of that, it means that if there's a huge amount of people who want to sign up, they can't process it all immediately. But at the same time, they need to prioritize there where the demand is. And where is that? Well, that changes day by day, as we can see in the markets. What I'm trying to say here is, if you want to sign up, go on Marriott and give them the information on what type of properties you have. Even if you don't get a reply right away, it might be because you're in a spot where the demand isn't so high right now for their customers, but it's still worth to do it, because the moment the demand changes or the backlog gets shorter, then you'll be first in the list because you sign up first. I'd like to finish here with a great comment from Robert Martin, who sent us a question. He said, I'm a Marriott Bonvoy Rewards member and previous vacation club owner. I will say that all the guests I have encountered in my experiences have been of the highest caliber and definitely represent the profile you presented. This seems like a great opportunity for smaller property managers such as myself. Thank you very much, Robert. I couldn't have said it better myself. I don't like to put especially people on different scales of things, but those demographics that Gregor showed us about Marriott guests, high income, well-educated homeowners, they will pay more if you got the good stuff. It's that simple. They will pay more if you have the good stuff. And if you do, then you should get on with Marriott. I hope that was the simplest way, and I hope Gregor supports that message.
Absolutely. I have to say thank you to Robert, because actually it was a great quote, and thank you for highlighting it. But it is what he mentioned it.
All right, and then I just wanted to thank all our participants. I see a lot of people here who are not using Hostaway yet. If you're not doing that, at least find out what it is you're missing. Go to hostaway.com and hopefully we can get on a call. Well, that was this webinar. We're gonna launch this on YouTube if we have Marriott's permission, but we also have a bunch of other webinars recorded. So if there's any topics, check out Hostaway on YouTube. Thanks everyone and have a great day.
Thank you, Mark.